are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port here on a Monday, the morning, the day after the horseshoe, after, of course, another Yankee debacle. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well, man. You know, I obviously, stoked to be here back in the studio. Another week, another great week of shows. We're on the other side of the room now, Brian. And
Wait, what do you mean?
Like last week, you were on that side. Now I don't know if you
I feel like we've done a little shuffle, like a Soto shuffle, like last couple.
I would
weeks.
call it a Soto shuffle.
Well, I mean, if there was one guy that was somewhat worthy of having something named after him on the Yankees, it would be Juan Soto, right? Or no?
Do I have to ask how you were doing, Brian?
You don't need to. You already know. But hey, I just try my best, and obviously it helps talking to all of you. About all this stuff and this tough time that the Yankees are going through. But listen, where would we be without like somebody like the great Josh B?
He's coming in early and often. You know the deal. Says, yo, fam, what is up? Yanks now looking good. Oof. But he says it's right there in front of them, dude. Which I think is important to remember there.
No. He's making fun of Aaron Boone. I think they were talking about it on DNR. He said something on Twitter.
Oh, no.
And I commented on it, actually. But just how embarrassing that is, which is true. I mean, is that not embarrassing? Just quick deal here, Tony. I mean, every time, like, no matter how ugly everything looks, how bad the game is, how pathetic the game is, Aaron Boone says that. Like, why even bother at this point, right? Like, doesn't that just make it worse or not?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, what alternative to like what though?
Just saying like we need to be better.
Yeah.
Like, why say it's
so.
all right and like he's close. I'm seeing signs when it's like nobody's seeing
That's
the
bullshit.
signs.
Yeah, that is bullshit.
Because it doesn't even need to be about the Yankees, but that's something that just always got me in life. The whole charade thing, like where we act like we don't know something or don't see something and try to put dressing on it. It's like, why do that? Why not just cut right to the chase?
I know, like, especially I feel like in baseball a lot, football definitely, hockey, depends on the coach, I suppose. But I feel like in baseball the most, we see a lot of these managers or even GMs and owners protecting the players from the media.
Mm-hmm.
You think we're ever going to see like a manager actually be up there and to be like, hey, like call out names? It's like these guys need to be better.
Well,
they're not playing well. That's the answer. If DJ LeMahieu stops striking out, like then maybe we can get something going. If the bottom of our lineup starts producing, then I don't really hear that often.
Yeah, it almost seems like it's a baseball specific thing. Because I feel like we heard in football with like quarterbacks throwing interceptions, like the coach is not having it, like stupid penalties, like they're calling the guys out, and maybe that's why football is an intense sport. And like trying to think. You would know better than me. I never really watched like the press conferences. Like hockey, do they like direct call out or no?
I mean, yeah, dude. Again, it does. I feel like in football and hockey, it does depend more on the coach specifically. But we've even seen, like Gerard Gallant, like call out specific players, to be better.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems like you said too. I mean, like, in baseball, it just seems like across the board, no matter what, managers are always kind of having that like political middle of the road answer, like not really, sometimes even dodging questions, like just kind of working around reporters as opposed to just really like addressing, like you said, things that like things that are written on the wall here, like just literally just talk about it instead of bullshitting your way. And then like fans like you and I are like, well, that sounds like nonsense.
Now, again, you would have a better idea because like, the only really baseball press conferences I'm seeing would be like Aaron Boone. I mean, of course, he's his understudy, but I mean, does Mendoza do the same thing? And did Rojas do the same thing? Did Buck do the same thing? I mean, what?
I guess maybe Buck did mention names in terms of some guys who are being better, but I would say all those guys, as long as I've been alive, I haven't seen a Met manager.
Bobby V.
I mean, I guess maybe he's one exception, I guess. But even so, I mean, I would have to.
The alcohol makes him a little angry at times, right?
Yes, I have no doubt there. But Rojas, Mickey Callaway, dude, all these guys didn't really
Mickey
hold anyone accountable, dude.
Yeah, I mean, he was. I don't know what he was doing on the bench.
Too busy, emailing,
creeping on women
in the organization, I guess.
Yeah, he probably listened to the K show too much. Just kidding, Michael. Great interview. But I'm just saying, the wives, we talked about it. But could you imagine if I actually did? He would have walked away right away if I said that.
Dude.
He definitely would have.
Next time.
Because he'd be like, are you kidding me? Like, I grant you an interview like 5 minutes from run, and then you ask me that question?
That literally is what he would say, too, because it wasn't before he went on. So he'd be livid. He'd be so livid. He'd probably talk about it on the show. Have us kicked out.
Terrible. He'd be talking like Ray Santiago getting fired.
Right. And then Dave would be on the show, be like, that guy's popped.
Oh my God. Yeah. He would have said that. Now what do you think though with this whole, like, we're talking about like charades and coddling? I mean, at the end of the day, like, is it the organizations being oversensitive, or is it the players being oversensitive? I know it can, obviously be a mix of both, but I mean, who do you think ultimately is more responsible on that stuff?
I would say the organizations, at that point. Because I mean, you set forth that sentiment,
Yeah.
You lay down the groundwork, the bedrock of how you want to build a team and how you want them to act, and also interact with their fans and the media.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if you're allowing your managers to do that, like, I think that I mean, that's on top of the organization, not necessarily the players being too coddled. Because again, if that organization starts to play some more hardball again with their players and hold people accountable and name names and not really, beat around the bush in terms of issues with the team or the lineup, I mean, that's just if the players don't like that, they have to leave.
Yeah.
Like, you have to lay that down early on and not take any shit. And again, I mean, I think that like, talk about the trickle down thing. Whereas if your manager is making excuses, and I feel like I'm a protected player, honestly, dude, I'm not going to like feel as bad I feel if I'm not playing well.
Yeah.
Because to the media, like, I have all this positivity and the spin on it, and my manager's behind me, and it's going to take time, whatever. It's all out in front of me. But listen, I mean, if you're getting the heat from the media, if you're getting heat from your manager, like, you're going to play better. So I don't know. I mean, again, maybe we'll see, a changing of the tides there. But I mean, I think that is a fundamental systemic issue with a lot of, how the players have their attitudes and their demeanors. And again, they're also like prissy, like prima donna mentalities.
Yeah.
Right?
And I don't know. It's like, I just feel like from being, former athlete myself, not that I played at any type of high level or even when I'm playing golf, like, I don't want anybody to tell me that, like, I did a good job when I didn't. Like, I don't know, like, why that would make anybody feel better. Like, it deep down inside. Like,
right. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It is very odd that they have to. They feel the need to do that. To be like, oh well, he's been old for his last 27, but he's been making good contact with the ball. He fouls off. He has a lot of battles, in the batter's box. A lot of battles. Like, what is that?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just so stupid. And this is kind of, I guess, a little different than what we're talking about, but I guess it just has to do with accountability and stuff. But well, I was texting Matt about this before. Like, what do you think? Like, and I kind of mentioned this yesterday, but it's like, obviously, your top players, Judge, Soto, Cole, and obviously, Judge is in the forefront because he's the team captain. I mean, at what point, because this is gotten so ugly, I mean, is there some accountability on his point? And I mean, obviously that's not, I don't say that easily because I've told you a million times, he's my favorite player, but I just feel like, at what point is that the case? Like, you know what I mean? And then you think about other things like with him, like what happened last year. I know he was injured for a lot, whatever, past there, fine. But even just like in the playoffs, getting embarrassed by the Astros and stuff, like in 2022. I mean, at what point does it fall on the leader of the team, the captain?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a legitimate consideration. Obviously, like you said, it is tough. I mean, Judge is having like
a great year,
phenomenal year right now.
What good is it right now?
No, it is no good. And again, I mean, at any point, if your team is not doing well and going on a tough stretch, you look to your leadership. And Judge, I mean, he's your guy. He's your leader. So, and again, I feel like maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I feel like most Yankee fans are not looking to Aaron Boone to have some type of like hype up, jack me up speech to turn this year around. Like you
Right.
want to look to a player, specifically you want to look to like Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I mean, I would love to see like not to say like, oh, like not to compare these two, but again, like, you know, Lindor, the players only meeting, no management, just the players. Like Lindor called it, he held it. Look at how well he's been doing and the Mets have been doing since then. I mean, like that's what you want to see from Judge, right? Like he should call a players only meeting and like figure something out.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I just even think about too, and like obviously the last couple of years of his career, the Yankees didn't make the playoffs. You know, Derek Jeter, you know, the last captain, of course, but
Right.
I still feel like, and they even had the stat. I think it's like something like each of the last 3 seasons, the Yankees have had a stretch where they've lost 15 out of 20 games, and like the previous like 40 years that had only happened 3 times. And then so then you think about that. And then you think about even when those teams, when Jeter was on his last leg and not performing the way that he should, I feel like still they didn't have stretches like this. You know, even if they were mediocre, you know, and we were better than those teams.
Like they didn't have 1 month where they were terrible. Really?
Like the stat I just said.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like, what is it? Do you think it's possible? You know, I'm just basically guessing here, but it's like he just wants to be too buddy with everybody, so he doesn't really like ream into anybody, and that's the problem with kind of like the whole organization.
I mean, that maybe. I mean, again, you would know better than I. But I mean, you know, in terms of having, you know, a season not as bad as this, or stretch, I should say. I mean, again, I think it is a little more circumstantial than that, you know? I mean, I just feel like, you know, the injuries that the team has suffered so far, like Stanton, even honestly, is it Praz is not hurt? Who's Dominguez?
Dominguez, yeah.
What is his injury, by the way?
Oblique.
Remember
we were talking last night. Obliques are tricky.
Dude.
Yeah,
that is tough. But I just feel like you do have some untimely injuries at this point. You know, like it is.
But that's been consistent. You know what I mean? Like with last what? I mean, since we've been doing this show. I mean, every year there's a ton of injuries. But also, I don't know. I don't think I think there hasn't been like a crazy amount of injuries. There's been injuries, but I think we've had way more injuries other years. And it's like our main guys have played almost every game. Like our most important guys, like Judge and Soto.
Yeah, true. But still, I mean, we talked about it. Like, I think you underestimated like how much Stanton did bring to you. And again, like you haven't had your ace for the entire year. You still really don't have him yet. You know, like even I think I forget who was talking about it. It might have been Michael Kay on Friday, but considering the amount of starts, the amount of innings that Garrett Cole has pitched, he's still in like a spring training, like.
But
mode,
you know what the thing? I feel like for me, I mean, bullpen, yes, but starters, I feel like they're fine. Like I understand they've had this rough stretch, but they were so good before.
Yeah.
That's okay. Like in Heel last night was great. I feel like for me, it's all offense. That's the only thing I think we can get pitchers at the deadline. But it's like I just feel like you can't have a whole new lineup after the trade deadline.
No, yeah, you're not going to. You know, we talked yesterday about replacing 1 or 2 guys, 2 positions in the lineup. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you're worried about the offense here. I know Judge again, kind of going on a little bit of a rough spot here, but obviously
which is a hot streak for every other hitter,
right? Yeah, I'm gonna say you can't really say much about that. Verdugo, great start to the year, cooled off since then.
Last month.
What do you? I mean, where do you think? Do you think he turns it around? Do you think he's just average
but
now?
You know what the thing is, Tony? I knew this when we got him, and I was almost tight when we did get him. If you look at his career stats, and especially like the last couple of years, you know, nothing pops off the page. Like, you know, I mean, sure, I guess it's just been a regression, really. I mean, because last year was maybe the start of it. I mean, 264, 13 and 54. You know, so that's a 745 OPS and 421 slug. And then those numbers have only gotten worse. The average is down to 244. The slugging is down to 398. The OPS is down to 697. So, and you look at all these numbers, I mean, never a crazy amount of power, never a crazy amount of steals. And yes, a couple good average seasons. But then even with like the runs scored, not a ton of those. So it's like, I think it's possible just because he was like, in the beginning of the year anyway, like really into the game and showing a lot of emotion that we kind of got too excited about him when you look at his numbers. And this is kind of like he's never been like an all-star type of player.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you're right. Again, just looking at this, month by month split here. Just like you kind of said, the last couple of years has been, it's been regressing per month here.
Yeah.
267 to start the season off in April and March, with only 10 strikeouts, mind you, 13 RBIs, 4 home runs. May, same amount of home runs, 16 RBIs. Does strike out 7 more times. Average goes down to 245. Last month, only 1 dinger. 219 average, 23 strikeouts last month. I mean, that's tough, dude. In July so far, obviously it's early here. So, but I mean, I guess he's staying healthy, I guess.
I know
it is tough.
So yeah, I don't know. I just like I kind of alluded to last night. I don't know. I don't know where the pivot is, and I don't know. I mean, sure. I mean, I know it sounds like at this point, I'm being like over negative, but I mean, do you see him like, next month, like really heating up and being a big advocate in the lineup?
I mean, I guess I can maybe see him getting back to like April form.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think kind of like what you said made sense, where he comes into this year hyped up. And of course, everyone else was doing well. So I feel like he's that type of player that needs to rely on other people doing well around him, and then that kind of maybe raises his level of play.
But that's the problem with everybody other than Justin.
So seems like
relying on everybody else. It's always somebody else. It's not them taking it upon themselves to do it.
Right. No, you're right.
And so that's why it's tough. That's why it's frustrating. And it's funny too. Yesterday we were talking about this. I thought they had a game today, but it's a off day today, and then this Tampa series starts tomorrow. 3 games. Maybe the off day is good. I mean, is it good? I don't know. You tell me.
I would say, yeah. Again, like I feel like great time to call like a players only meeting to figure it out, really sulk in what's going on, reflect on what you've been doing wrong and how to advance here. And probably good too, because you mentioned Tampa, right? Just lost yesterday,
killed,
like destroyed.
13-2, I think.
Yeah, so maybe their off day too will maybe like let them calm down a little bit. But I mean, I guess we'll see. I mean, I like the off day here. What do you think?
Yeah, I hope they do that. I guess I just question, why does it take 20 games to get to this point? Like where you're like, okay, like we got to snap out of this right now. Like, why does it take this long?
I mean, that's a great question. Do you think they've been complacent because of how well they started off?
I guess. I mean, either that, like, I don't know.
And we also talked about this entire time how Boone is like, oh, it's out in front of you. You'll figure it out. I mean, again, Boone seems to take a lackadaisical approach to this. And again, I don't know what he's like in the locker room, at least to the media, though. Like we were saying, it's like, oh, well, thank God we've got off to a great season. Like, this is like, thank God we're so competitive, even in this tough stretch. Like, we're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
When in reality, just saying you're going to figure it out doesn't mean you are figuring it out, like
you continue to not figure it out. So I don't know. I just feel like I could talk all day about this and not get anywhere, just like the team. We have a bunch of comments. I want to skip to our last one because I don't know about you, Tony, but I feel like I'm slightly offended by Lonnie's comment here.
Oh wow, okay. Let's see here. Lonnie here says, just stopping by to say hello. Have a great show, guys. Barnes, our Yankees. Tisk. Nice shirt, Tony. Thanks, dude. I'm over here listening to K Pietro, which is Michael K.
But my point being, and I appreciate him saying nice show. He could have said something about the shirt, didn't. But I think the biggest thing is like we're not more listenable than K Pietro, Michael K.
Michael K, dude. I mean, I don't know. We can do a little live listening if you want right now. See what they're talking about.
What do we got? No, I actually kind of interested.
Honestly, let's see. I don't even know. Oh, 10:50 a.m. That's right. They're on the AM spot, which is very odd if you ask me.
Well, that's going
Not
to be
just
the new
the
station.
Yankees. Throughout baseball, they expect managers to be nice and never rip the players. So I don't know how you turn something like this around. But the bottom line is, we can all look at the minutia of, well, they're not playing hard. They're not running the bases smart. Right now, nobody wants to hear this, Rick.
Nobody.
Right now, they're not good enough. Not good enough to win games.
No, they're not. But here's the thing, though, Michael, and I agree with you. Whoever they hire, if it's going to be Brian Cashman that makes the hire, is probably going to be very similar to Aaron Boone. But at least it sends the message that someone's going to be held accountable, right? Like, I mean, it may not be
True.
They're saying the exact same thing we're saying, which is kind of funny.
Because it's so obvious, you know?
I mean, I don't know. Do you think Boone gets canned today, day off? No.
But could you see it? Because, I mean, it just seems like it's never going to happen. But could you see it if they were to lose, like, their next 10 games in a row? And to get it, like outscored 100-20. Literally, though.
In their next 10 games.
Yes.
I guess. I don't know, man. I almost want to say no. I can't see Boone getting fired during this season right now. I feel like he would have to literally fumble his way the rest of the season, and then you would get fired, right? I don't know.
I think, though, I mean, that's really bad, though. This is bad, but just think about losing all those games in a row.
Yeah.
And then do you agree with what he said about, like, the person's going to be similar to Boone, but then Rick with the counterpoint of sending a message? I mean, what do you think about that part of it?
I don't know. I mean, I think that you need to do a little bit more than just send a message.
Right.
You need to hire a better manager at the end of the day. So if you do, which again, I could see Cashman putting someone in who's like Boone. But I mean, like, what does that mean? You know, like someone who is like Boone, so this like the same manager, like someone who
Well, I guess
has the
just
same
that,
problems.
is it going to publicly hold people accountable? But also, though, do they need to be publicly held accountable if they were held accountable behind closed doors?
I mean, are they not?
I don't think so.
You really think Boone is not, like, he has no control, locker room, doesn't matter, doesn't yell at players,
but just like just constant, like, you're gonna turn around. I know this is tough for you right now, but I believe in you. Like, I think he just says stuff like that.
But that's what I mean. Like, that's having no control. Like, you're afraid to tell your players that they're not doing well. Like, that is like, you're not in control of the locker room. Like, because if I was in full control, I can go in there and I can tell them, like, the real deal, and then they'll figure it out. Like, and we'll figure it out because we're an entire baseball team. I find that really hard to believe that he doesn't do that at all.
Which you're saying you think he does, like, rip people behind?
I mean, you have to, right?
I don't know. I don't think so. Honestly, I think it's just so kumbaya.
That's pretty unfathomable to me.
Yeah, I mean, it should be.
And if that is the case, you gotta get him out of there, like literally right now, and get in someone who can actually, like, handle a roster of guys.
But then I just feel like, and then it's like we've talked about many times, like, the problem is Cashman, because he wants that type of person in there. He doesn't make the right decisions, and he's never wrong. And you operate with the same mindset from 20 years ago with no new style. But,
like, I don't get that. Like, if I was Cashman, and I do want, like, if he does want that, like, I'm never wrong. Like, if you want to put the blame on someone, let's put it down on the manager. Then hire a good manager. Then,
right?
Like, who will then that's it, dude. If your manager fucks up, you can blame him. But if you hire a good manager, you're gonna be doing well.
But he doesn't want anybody to have any type of say over him or any type of power. He wants the manager powerless, and that's the problem. That's what he wants, right? I mean, you've seen this guy fucking talk. I mean,
I agree, and I mean, and at the end of the day, I mean, if that issue is that deeply rooted, then, I mean, you got to get rid of him as well, right? Like,
and is it really as simple, though, that Hal, like, just doesn't want to, like, do anything, and he's just like, well, like, make enough money, so as long as we're profitable and making the playoffs most years, I don't really care. I mean, is it that simple?
I guess it could be. I mean, it certainly seems that way, right? Because I mean, geez, dude. I mean, how many freaking years has Cashman been the GM now?
I think it started in 96.
Right? So
So we're
it's
approaching
like,
30
yeah,
as a
like,
general manager.
manager.
Man, they don't even go 10 years.
So I mean, again, I mean, it just seems like that they're so just
Like how
complacent.
basically, I mean, to sum it up, is a pussy.
Sounds like it, dude. Or he just doesn't give a fuck either. Or
I mean, I think it showed his true colors not going to Sterling's retirement day.
yeah,
Pete,
that is,
are you kidding me?
like,
How
come on,
long he
dude.
had been, working for the
Part of the
Yankees, and then you're
organization,
just
yeah.
not, you can't show up?
Like, what were you doing that day? Were you with Dan Grassa?
Probably. And you know, it was funny. Somebody posted this on Twitter. I guess like that day when he had the press conference, the first thing he said when he got to the mic, he goes, "Is this where Booney like sits up here and says, yeah, he's getting close?"
Oh my god, really?
Yeah.
That's actually kind of funny.
So shambles. We just try to move forward. I guess.
Are they getting close though?
How could I mean, what could you point to getting close? I mean, yes, the game on Saturday, sure, but it just seems like there's too many other games, not like Saturday, to think that they're actually getting close.
Yeah, I mean, obviously tough follow up last night.
It just so ridiculous, and the fact that like that I knew it like once they were down, really like 1-0. Honestly, like it just felt like for a reason like they need to strike first, which shows a weakness again.
I know.
Just everywhere you look, there's a weakness.
And when was the first run scored? The seventh inning?
Like you couldn't.
Come on.
You can't get one.
Yeah.
And when there's runners on, it's always a double play. You didn't bunt in that situation after we talked about it.
2 out doubles. What does it matter?
Right. And which is another thing that I said. And it's just like, listen, I know they're not really like a bunting team, but I just feel like at least, I mean, if you're really going through it like this, and we saw them do that, I think last year, like where they started bunting a lot, like you kind of have to do stuff like
We
that.
even saw it in the beginning of the year, I feel like this year too. And I mean, like to say you're not a bunting team, I think is a fundamental, like,
again,
infallibility. Yeah, like baseball is so much about situational hitting. If you need to lay down a bunt, like everyone should be able to do that, like, and in that situation, a bunt would have worked well. And again, like you want to talk about, what was it, Soto with the 2 out double, right?
Yeah.
Like,
oh no, it was LeMahieu.
Yeah,
and then
Soto was on
like
base.
a 1 out double. That was two separate situations.
Okay, yeah. But again, like you have that runner who's quick enough on 2 outs. You send him right away. There's a double. Like you said, you'd probably scoring a run right there.
Yeah.
And then that's talk about changing the course of the game.
When LeMahieu would have scored him on that other instance because he would have been on second and then he would have scored because he's quick, but didn't. So I don't know. I just find myself every time I feel like I keep saying to you, like, oh, well, this series is like really a big series. And then, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, these are.
Like, I really wouldn't be surprised if they get swept by Tampa.
Come on, really? Tampa's kind of pulled it together a little bit too recently, right?
They're still under 500.
No, I know, but they're like close to 500 now. They were well under.
4 under.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's see. There we go. Nope.
Up.
Oh, all right. Well, that kind of worked
Well, that
out a
was
little bit.
different.
44,
2
46.
under.
They're 2 under.
But I mean, 4 out of.
Oh, they got swept by the Rangers?
5.
Oh, wow, dude.
Yeah, 4 out of 5. I mean,
look at this guy.
not good. Fucking loser.
I think they had like a okay June. Looks like it.
Yeah, but they're not good.
3-game win streaks.
They're
No, I
just-
mean, you're right. They're not good.
Yeah. So I guess we gotta just wait and see what happens tomorrow. But even though it sounds very repetitive and redundant, I think tomorrow is important. I think the series is important. You got these 2 series, Tampa and Baltimore. And to get embarrassed again, I don't know how you could look your fans in the eyes after that.
I didn't realize Rod Vet was catching for Tampa Bay.
Yeah. And actually, not bad.
276 average right now.
Could use him.
8 doubles.
Right?
Yeah,
Doing better
definitely.
than Wells, unfortunately. But regression to the mean, who knows? Rosario almost hitting 300.
Yeah.
Talk about regression to the mean. Yeah. So I don't know. It's not usually easy in Tampa. So I don't know how we could expect it to be this time. But I guess we'll see. And I guess I mean did we get to any comments or just a
We had to
couple?
no comments, just Josh B and Lonnie.
Okay. What else?
All right, so let's go. We have Matthew Gabriel in the house. He says, let's go. Anthony Laterrell also in the house says, let's go, Josh. And he says, let's go, Tony. And then Matthew is asking you to give it the old college try. He says, I saw some good things. Even though he swung and missed 8 times, we saw some good things. Quoting Aaron Boone.
Yeah.
And then Jimmy Buckton says, yo, good morning. Yanks got to beat Tampa. No other way to put it. That's correct. Speaking of Jimmy, we have Michael also in here saying, great time last night, boys.
Great time, Michael.
Spelling boys, B-O-I-Z. Very interesting there. And he goes, oh, man, Barnes, next year we're meeting up in Newport Beach and hitting the golf course, shopping, and then having a beer on the beach, dude. I feel like Michael is a bit like, if you give him like a credit card and you go shopping with him, he'll like, he's ripping through like a lot of money right there.
Yeah, I mean, just the bar tab alone.
And then Matthew says, thanks for the brilliant analysis, Jimmy. And he does say the writings on the wall. Do you like alcohol? He says, Mr. Bobby, dude,
Valentine.
Bobby Valentine.
The red face.
Michael Bukta says, Kev, dude, where the fuck are you? And he says, there's no point to going to shitty Northern California.
Look at you now, you're fired.
And then Matthew Gabriel said that. And then Kev Do right on cue there says, Yankees suck. And he says, let's go. We want the smoke. Michael Thiefel in the house says, Boone's needs to go. We need a motivator, not a bitch, dude.
Which is obviously true.
Which is true. And then Josh B on top of the ball. They, as in, I guess Michael.
ESPN Radio.
Wait, really?
Yeah, you don't remember? They said they announced that actually last year.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, because they don't want to pay for the FM rights, so they're just going to be an AM station. Isn't that ridiculous?
So no more FM.
No, Rangers not going to be covered by ESPN Radio either.
Are you fucking kidding me? So
No.
Don?
Well, I have a feeling they're just like, you know, the new station you would think would have some of the same personnel, but who knows? Actually, maybe not.
What is, wait, so 98.7 will be what now, though? Another,
Like a rock station, I think.
wait, really, dude?
Yeah.
That's kind of embarrassing.
But actually look it up. Who's gonna be what station will broadcast the Rangers games?
Okay, yeah.
What radio station?
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Maybe news? 2024
104.5. I guess so.
The team.
ESPN Radio 104.5 FM. The team, dude.
But it's weird that that's an FM dial. Go back for a second to the Google search.
Oh, he's not going back.
It won't. Because I was just gonna say, now you go forward and then go to news, go up, and then go to the news tab. I can't believe they don't.
April. Yeah, this is from April a month ago. Listen live. Oh, yeah.
Jets to broadcast games on 104.3. Isn't that the same?
I no. The other one was 105.1, I think, or something.
Wait, go to that though.
No, 104.3 is actually a rock station in New York. And I heard that they're getting Jets games, but I didn't think that it's because Jets are leaving ESPN New York in the wake of the radio station planning to abandon its FM signal this summer. And they go to 104.3. Marty Lyons and Bob Wischusen are expected to continue to call the games, dude.
Yeah.
Bob Wischusen, pretty solid.
But
But it looks like opened up contract Jets. Good Karma Brands made the decision last year to move from 98.7 as the lease originally signed by ESPN with MS Broadcasting concludes this summer. ESPN was leasing the signal for more than $10 million a year. That's pretty crazy, dude.
yeah. But I don't know. I just feel like the signal's not gonna come in good. Like I don't know. And I know people watch online, but I don't know. There's something because like I feel like I don't like streaming stuff and then like listening in the car with CarPlay because then if there's not good service and the signal's not good. And I know sometimes obviously radio signal's not good, but I don't know. I feel like the phone signal's even worse.
Yeah, honestly,
dead
dude,
areas.
I totally agree. I actually have that problem listening to 98.7 now because around here the signal sucks, and I really don't get it.
Yeah.
Because we're in Fairfield County.
Right.
I understand that they're ESPN New York, But it's like, dude, like we are like I'm not in the sticks.
But then, and
okay?
also, just
this isn't Torrington, all
But
right?
then also, if you're at Mohegan, even if you're in Westerly, the fan comes in perfect. I know it's
Really?
AM, but actually even or maybe it is just AM. But either way, if that is possible, this should be possible.
Yeah. But you're right though, because sometimes I switch over to the app and my signal sucks. And also the app is like really delayed from the actual radio. So it's like, what are we doing?
Once again, stuff not being done the right way.
And I really don't get it. And I guess maybe I do get the move, but like why even do AM, honestly, at that point? Just do the fucking podcast.
Yeah.
And just do the app full fledged.
It's a step. It's a step.
It's definitely it definitely
Josh
is.
B saying that's the Jets, the Rangers with like the I don't know if that's upset emoji, and then he says simple radio app. Crazy. I mean, obviously, it's ideal not to have to listen to games on the radio, but it just when you need to, and obviously you could stream it. But again, the service, we get it.
I guess we'll have to look into this 104.5.
Yeah. So we'll have to see what happens. So really, moving along here, just wanted to mention John Deere Classic, Davis Thompson, Tony, picking up his first career PGA Tour victory, 28 under par. So exceeding the Travelers Championship in terms of under par here.
And that's a record, right?
It is a record, and it's 63, 67, 62, 64. I feel like the average fan does not realize how hard it is, even if you're playing on an easy course, to have that type of performance over a 4-day stretch.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I totally agree. And I think one thing that's indicative of that was I'm trying to, you have to remind me, was it this tournament that guy shot a 59 or was that the Travelers?
That's this tournament.
That was this tournament, right? And
Hayden Springer,
that's right,
who
dude.
finished 7th and did not have a round under 66 after that,
which is like kind of crazy. Again, like you say that, like people don't realize like that's something you can look at. Some guy shot a 59 and did not win, like literally beat the course record and didn't have top 5 obviously finish.
And it's funny, it's hard over 4 days. And my sister Stacy, she couldn't believe, because we were watching the shark documentary on what was it, Saturday night, and she was like, wait, so it's 4 days, 72 holes? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, oh my God, like that's a lot of golf. And it really is. And that's what makes these guys so good. So congratulations to Davis Thompson. Did you see who the runner-up was? 2 runners up, but one
Thor Bjornsson.
Close, Tony. 4 strokes.
I know,
strokes back, but 24 under. Usually that would be good enough to win. And he goes 67, 64, 66, 63. A final round 63, but not enough. Also, shout out Luke Clanton, the amateur, 24 under, closing with his 63. Not enough, but obviously a good performance. And CT Pan was also tied for second, 24 under. Just looking at notables here, we mentioned Springer tied for 7th, after that 59. Eric Cole tied for 7th as well at 21 under. Sanjay Im, who I believe your pick, was 20 under par there, tied for 12th. And then Keith Mitchell, your sleeper there, 18 under, tied for 18th. Jason Day tied for 23rd at 16 under. Lucas Glover tied for 23rd at 16 under. Zach Johnson, who will again be the Ryder Cup captain here, was 15 under. So good performance from the grizzled vet. Jordan Spieth did have a 63 on Saturday, had to settle for tie for 26, 15 under. Now, obviously, it's an easy course, and Spieth has had his share of struggles. And, obviously tied for 26 isn't what he was looking for going into the week. But because it was 15 under, because he put together a 63 on Saturday, I mean, do you think that does anything for him moving forward?
I guess. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, he had some good shots, I suppose. I did see some highlights from him. But, I mean, I don't know. I feel like we've asked that question so often. So, like, no, I guess, right?
Former Open champ. Never know, right?
Why, are you riled a little bit?
Well, I would like to be.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
but are you?
I guess to short of it, no. But he is going to go 3 weeks in a row here playing. And actually, he played at the Travelers, too. So he has a lot. He's playing a lot of tournaments in a row here. Anyway, he's going to be in the field for this Scottish Open this week, and obviously the Open Championship. So we'll see if any momentum is carried over there. And we had talked about this before. I didn't realize. So most of the top golfers in the field this week at the Genesis Scottish, but not Scotty. So Scotty waiting till the Open. But you have all of the top 10 here, or most of it anyway. Obviously, John Rahm not eligible, as well as I don't know if Cam Smith has dropped out, and DeChambeau is number 10, but of course he's not in the field. So a couple guys missing, but you have your McIlroys, your Schauffele's, the Auberts, the Clarks, the Morikawas, the Hovlands, the Fleetwoods, the Harmons, the Matsuyamas. You get the picture. It's been a little bit of a layoff here for Rory. What are you expecting to see this week? I mean, you think he's going to put something together good, or he's still going to be kind of mentally not there after that collapse at the U.S. Open?
I mean, it's so tough to try and dictate it, but I mean, if for me, I don't know. I feel like maybe a strong start, like a 66, 67 day one here, round one,
taper around the corner.
And then, yeah, dude, I mean, that's been his MO.
Yeah.
Maybe the only thing he has going for him is the fact that I think he's historically performed well here. So maybe that gives him like a fighter, like a puncher's chance on a Sunday. But again, I mean, if he, navigates his way into a playoff, or even if he's like, even if he has like a 1-stroke lead or something going into Sunday, I don't have confidence in him winning. So I would say for him, I'll say top 5 finish, but
yeah,
I don't think he's winning.
And then what about leading into the following week? You think any chance it's like almost a similar thing, like great start right there, terrible Sunday?
Possibly.
Yeah.
It might just be terrible
missing the cut.
Yeah, dude.
Like Royal Portrush a few years back, 80 in the first round, pre-tournament favorite, missed the cut even after 65 in round 2. So never know, Tony, what you're going to get. But that's what, makes the PGA Tour so special. So nice to have something else to talk about than the Yankee failures. That's for sure. But of course, we kind of have to talk about that in a sense. I guess not really, though, since they're not playing today. But anyway, let's go to the world of Major League Baseball.
What a play! Stop it, Tony. Yep. And Alonso cracks one of the Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Drove deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. So as mentioned, Yankees off today, making their way to Tampa. So we'll see what they could do there, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. Rodon getting the start there. We did talk about it last night, though. The Mets are in action, a series finale getaway day there against the Pirates, a pitching matchup of Chad Scott and Mitch Keller. It is Chad, right?
No, it's Christian Scott.
Christian, my bad.
Right?
It definitely is.
It is.
Anyway, he's 0-2, 4.32. Keller, I guess better than we thought, 3.48, but probably was better last year. Made the All-Star team last year. I don't think he made it this year.
I don't think so. Actually, no, I think he did, dude.
Huh. I mean, because those numbers are fine, but I don't know. To me, it doesn't scream All-Star,
It doesn't. I just want to double check.
But then again, I mean, Clay Holmes made the All-Star team, so.
After All-Star exclusion, Pirates, Mitch Keller focused on strong second half.
So I'm curious, though, who did go to that? Who will represent the Pirates? Down.
Oh, there it is.
Nobody. Oh, a starter. Go.
Nobody was named a starter.
Oh, but that, you know what? Just go to the NL All-Star roster, because they have to have a representative. And then down. Oh, yeah, that one's good too.
Starters.
National League.
No starters.
Go down.
From the
down.
Pirates.
Pitchers. American League down.
NL.
Can't believe Tyler Anderson's an All-Star.
Paul Skeens.
Is he?
That
He
makes
didn't even
sense, dude.
start the year with the Pirates, though, right? Wasn't he called up? I think because of the service time. He definitely was called
I
up
think
in
you're
May.
right. Yeah.
But obviously, I mean, he's not been unbelievable. And Josh was ahead of it, saying Skeens, Paulie.
Yeah, dude.
So that's exciting for him, and that'll be fun to see. Like, is that something? Even though, obviously he's not on your team, but just because I haven't really seen much of him game action. Like, is that something that you kind of want to see him pitching?
Paul Skeens?
Yeah,
yeah, dude. He's pretty filthy.
Yeah, like he's gonna be a future second award winner. You would think?
Yeah, he's 5-0 right now with a sub-2 ERA.
Yeah,
like, are you kidding me?
Throwing 103.
Yeah, like that's really freaking good. Like Skeens is great, dude.
Yeah.
Durant
making the All-Star team.
I know,
kind of
crazy
year.
dude.
It's annoying.
It's interesting.
Jackson Merrill.
Jackson
had a
Merrill
great year as well.
He's been great in the outfield there
Reynolds
for
made
San
it.
Diego. Brian Reynolds has been hitting really well against the Mets specifically, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, Josh B
David
agreeing,
Fry.
saying that Skeens was called up.
Yeah.
Ozuna, great year despite the Braves kind of
Mm-hmm.
going through it a little bit offensively.
Yeah, dude.
But before we get to which we have just enough games here to do our frenzy. What do you think about this game today? I mean, Scott hasn't got a win. Did he get knocked around last start?
Yeah, dude. I could double check his numbers right now. But I'm pretty sure it was something maybe to the tune of like 5 innings, 4 earned runs, maybe.
Okay.
Against Washington, 5 2/3, 4 earned runs. Before that, Arizona, 5 innings, 2 earned runs. San Francisco, 6, 2 earned runs. Got popped against Miami, 2. Literally, his first start against Atlanta was good. 6 innings, 3 earned runs, 8 Ks, but couldn't really replicate that. And that was a tough, 4-1 loss there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, Scott, I don't have a ton of confidence in right now. He's not pitching terribly. Like, you watch him, his fastball is around 95. Does like to throw his fastball often. And when he's accurate, I mean, he's painting corners. It seems like he likes to hit the low and outsides with the fastball. Again, I've only really seen that though, like where he's on top of his location again, that start against the Braves. So if he has it, that'd be great. Cause again, when the Pirates batters have been hot, especially against this series against the Mets, we've seen them score as much as 14 runs, like Saturday. And Mitch Keller, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know, again, talk about getting knocked around a little bit. I mean, Keller kind of has his past few starts. You want to look at his last few starts here against St. Louis, who's had a hot month, 5 innings, 5 earned runs. Before that, Cincinnati, 6 innings, 3 earned runs. I guess had a tremendous outing. I guess his first start against Cincinnati, 7 innings, no earned runs there. Shutout baseball there for him.
And shutout baseball against Minnesota.
Against
Sandwich
Minnesota.
in between getting knocked around against the Cardinals.
So I feel like it's kind of the tale of two pitchers has been his season here. He's on my fantasy team, and he's had a tough start, picked it up, and then kind of has wavered in between. Like I said, good starts and bad starts. I want to say for the past month, but nonetheless, I mean, he has the capabilities like we're looking at to fan a lot of batters, to not give up a lot of runs. So, I mean, you're really hoping at this point that the Mets could take this momentum from a big win yesterday, be excited about, a Diaz returning to the lineup, be excited about, Scott hopefully having a bright future here. But I will say, I think key to victory, it falls on the shoulders of Scott here. I mean, he's got to get off to a good start. You can't be giving up 3 runs in the first inning and then trying to just, crawl your way back into this game. Scott has to be out there. He has to be decisive. He has to obviously be accurate. And I think it could be that.
And at least, though, I have to say, and I don't like doing this, but at least I feel like you must feel somewhat good in terms of the Mets, even if they are trailing. It seems like recently they have had a few comebacks.
Yeah, dude. I mean, again, yesterday being one of them. You're down 2-1 going into the 9th.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like they have had some good comeback victories here. On the shoulders of Francisco Lindor yesterday, which was great to see. But I think again, love a good comeback victory. But I mean, let's try to put ourselves in that situation, sort of
exactly.
deal. Like, let's get out ahead of it. Let's score first. Let's keep it going. Again, the bullpen has looked nice. We talked about Nunez, who just killed it. Buteau out of the bullpen. I love that. Besides Hauser's fuck up on Thursday, I guess it was.
Yeah.
He's been great. Yeah.
Or he's been good.
He's been really good. We talked about his splits coming out of the bullpen or versus a
starter.
starter. Starter was over an 8 ERA. Bullpen is like 2.
Right.
So the numbers are there for that. I do love those decisions, and you can get a little hyped about those bullpen pieces. And it's funny because I feel like I haven't seen Adam Ottavino in a little while. because of that, which is good.
Anger management classes.
Maybe anger management, AA, who knows, dude?
You really think he's a big drinker?
Nah, I mean,
Could be.
probably. I mean,
Why do you
who-
get angry?
Who isn't a big drinker nowadays? You know,
That's true.
So it should be interesting to see what they could put together today. But you're positive the wraparound game here. Let's freaking go, dude.
Christopher Ortega checking in from ESPN.
Yo!
What's up, fellas? What's up, brother?
Did it say what's up? Oh, you're saying what's up, brother?
Yeah.
I was
In response.
Yes,
dude. So good to hear from him.
It is great to hear from Ortega.
And you mentioned comebacks. I'm trying to make one myself here, pick wise. I am up to 24-24. You are 26-22. So not too much separation. Only 2 games. And what will the picks be today? What will happen? You will find out in an abbreviated, full-on baseball frenzy, starting from the Steel State, I think. City.
Steel City.
It
Yes.
is Steel
Yes.
City.
Pittsburgh is the Steel City, hence your Steelers, baby. So let's freaking go from there. PNC Park. Let's go. The Pirates, last game, 4th game of this set here against the Mets. We know the pitching matchup. We know the deal. We know what I want. Scott, all right, you got to bring that ERA down. It's a 4.32. You're 0-2. Haven't had a major league win ever. Let's get your first one today. I'm looking at Scott here, just like that start against the Braves. 6 innings against the Pirates lineup. Give me 2 earned runs from him. I want to see double-digit strikeouts. I don't want to hear about Reynolds on the All-Star team. All right, I don't want to hear about that. I forget the Wu. Is Wu his name? The outfielder? Doesn't even freaking matter, dude.
Woo.
No, it's not Wu. I forget who's they're out. Is it Sawinski maybe?
Yeah, because Wu is the pitcher
Wu is
for the Mariners.
For the Mariners, yeah. Nonetheless, here, give me a freaking break with Pittsburgh. Obviously, no one has seen Scott here in this lineup. Use that to your advantage. In terms of some batters that are hot against Mitch Keller, excuse me. I guess Iglesias 3 for 10 career with 4 RBIs and a home run against him. So let's freaking go. McNeil also has a home run against him as well in his career. So a few batters here can get to him early, hopefully. The Pirates bullpen, give me a freaking break. Not that good. So let's go. Mets take their 3rd win of this 4-game series. Over under is 8.5. Does it get there? I can see the score being like 5-3. I'm going to say Mets win this one 6-3, which gives me Mets and the over, though. Let's go, Brian.
Let's go.
Yankees are off.
Yankees are off, so we go to Arizona. Braves versus the Diamondbacks here. Chris Sale versus Diaz, who has not made a major league appearance yet for the Diamondbacks.
Talk about an all-star in Sale, though.
Sale has had a resurgent year, getting away from the bowels of Fenway Park here. Braves have won 3 out of their last 5. Diamondbacks 4 out of their last 5. So kind of rebounding after a terrible start. I think they were almost 10 under. Now they're back to 500. Christian Walker having a great year, on pace for like 40 home runs.
No all-star for him, though.
No all-star.
Ridiculous.
Should be in the Derby. They haven't announced full participants as of yet, right? I know Alonso put his hat in the ring, but I haven't heard anybody else, right?
Bohm and Gunnar Henderson, I think were confirmed.
Okay, so not full, but they're the other guys.
Yeah,
so far.
yeah.
But he would be a great candidate for it. Diamondbacks can hit, but I just think they're not going to be able to pitch in this one and Sale. I mean, just every time is on the button here. 127 strikeouts over 99 2/3, and I knew he was injured. I thought he was getting older. Didn't think he had this in him. So the Braves really lucked out with that deal. I think Grissom's still injured.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think Sale, 7 shutout innings, and I think the Braves will win this game. I'm going to say 3-1. So it's the Braves. It's the under. It's a Marcell Ozuna 5th inning 3-run homer. The difference in this one.
Absolutely love that here. Just looking at the Rangers against the Angels. Rangers are hot right now. They're on a 3-game win streak, and they're playing the Angels. So I guess I'll take the Rangers here. John Gray pitching for the Rangers, 3-4, 3.92. I guess it's been okay. Don't know much about Davis Daniel of the Angels. Haven't really heard that name a ton. Looks like he's 27 years old, coming out of Atlanta. 2 starts on the year, it looks like. Against Detroit, 8 innings of shutout baseball. That's pretty interesting. Only 4 hits over 8 innings there. Nonetheless, though, give me the Rangers. I'm going with a team who's hot. They just swept the Rays. I know what you may think. Oh, like, well, they just swept the team. Now they're probably going to do bad. Let's take it easy here, all right? It's against the freaking Angels. So in this game, Rangers, Angels, I say John Gray, surprisingly good, maybe 7 innings, 3 earned runs. And then I guess give me Marcus Semien here, getting his, I guess, let's go for a grand slam, a 6-inning grand slam, breaking 50 RBIs for his 13th home run there. The Rangers take this game, I will say, by a tune of, I don't know, maybe 6-3. So let's go again, Rangers and the over, Brian.
All right. So I am going to go with the Guardians over the Tigers, and not exactly a who's who on the mound here. Gavin Williams opposed by Keter Montero. So I don't know if anybody had that penciled in on their bingo card before the season. But the Guardians have played well this year. They've won 3 out of their last 4, winning 2 out of 3 against the San Francisco Giants. The Tigers have been hot. They did just sweep the Reds. But, I mean, even though the Yankees had trouble with them, the Reds aren't, the who's who of the league here. So I'm expecting some regression. And I'm expecting the Guardians to win this one. I think their bullpen will save them because I don't know how much length Williams will give them. Total set 8.5. I think Guardians win this one 4-1. So it's the Guardians and it's the under.
Let's freaking go, dude. Guards the under. I guess I'll go with the Cards here. 4:05 p.m. starting their series. Ending their series against the Nationals, the 4th game of their set as the Nationals get ready to play the Mets once again. The Cards in the wild card race here, obviously trying to make strides and do better. They have been doing a lot better. They've won 3 of the last 5 games here. Wilson Contreras has had 3 home runs in his last 5 games. He made the All-Star team, I believe, as well.
Wow.
Because I guess just how well he's been doing. Nonetheless here, they're the hot team. Nationals can go kick rocks, in my opinion here. Cardinals go on. Contreras, another dinger tonight, no doubt. Maybe Arenado, RBI double, who knows. Maybe Mikolas can reach back and look a little bit more like vintage Miles as opposed to this Miles we see with almost a 6 ERA this year. Give me Cards winning this game over under 9.5. God damn. I say Cardinals 7, Nationals 5.
All right.
Cardinals, and you're over.
And for my final game, I was just talking about how they're not that good. But I'll take the Reds. The Rockies suck. So that's just kind of my thought there. And I know recently they won 3 out of 4. Took 2 out of 3 from Kansas City, which is surprising. Season series, though, the Reds actually swept the Rockies at Coors Field back on June 3rd through the 5th. And I wouldn't be surprised if they swept again. I think Ellie De La Cruz could have a big series, could steal like 10 bases. Regardless of all of that, I think the Reds will win this game. I'm going to say by the score of 5-1. So it's the Reds and it's the under. And just like that, that is your baseball frenzy, Tony. So an abbreviated slate here. Obviously, you're jacked up about the Mets, which is going to start very soon.
Noon 30.
About an hour and a half, give or take.
Yes, sir.
So where are you right now? Because obviously you were almost, I would say, or pretty much you were kind of going through that period of time that I'm going through right now with the Yankees. With the Mets, I mean, like how, where are you? Are you like really excited? Are you tempered? You don't want to get your hopes up? Like where are you?
That's a great question. I don't know.
In the middle?
I guess I'm tempered. What is there really to be excited about, Brian, honestly, at the end of the day?
Alvarez?
No, yeah, exactly. It's like individuals, sure. Right. But
don't have the horses.
At the end of the day, again, like wild card spot, like yes, like that. I think that's what's gonna happen. Could you really like make a miracle happen and get some pitchers at the deadline?
But do you even want to do that?
That's what I mean. Like what I really want to do is I probably want to take pitchers and players like Severino, honestly, even like Taylor, like JD, and deal them now to teams that could use them. because they're not going to have much of a future with the Mets,
Right.
So why not deal them, get some more prospects, get some more youth that's, you can keep with the team who's good, and then you can develop like a full-on MLB roster as opposed to what you have now.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like I want to dump everyone
Because
who's
you
of
want
value.
long-term sustainability.
Again, like you have Scott, who's someone you can develop. Obviously, Alvarez, Vientos had a great year. Dare I say, even Beatty has had a solid year too. I guess from the small sample size he has, that's someone you can still obviously develop somewhere. I feel like in the majors, I think he's still worthy of it. And then you have more guys in the minors you can bring up as well. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, being realistic, like you're not winning a World Series with this roster. You're probably not, is what I like. Again, like there's a 99% chance that you're not, just because of just what we've seen so far this year. So I don't know. I want to dump and rebuild.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's the way to go. You want to have guys that you feel like are your future and that can be there long term, rather than this constant revolving door and band-aids and all that stuff. So
right,
be interesting to see how they do it. I'm sure it'll be tough for Cohen. I mean, I know maybe not, because Stearns, I'm sure, is, no pun intended, very stern about his approach here, that he doesn't want to be irresponsible and get caught in the moment type of thing. So be interesting to see how they approach the deadline. One other thing I wanted to mention, unrelated to baseball, but I just saw this on ESPN.com. And I think this was brought up because, obviously Klay Thompson leaving the Warriors, going to the Mavs, but Steph Curry saying that he believes the Warriors likely NBA's last dynasty. Just a question to you about this. I guess two questions. Number one, is that kind of ridiculous to say? And number two, why even say something like that? Because it's just like, how would you know that? And it's like, again, just with sports and life, when do we stop being surprised? When did things just happen out of nowhere? Like, what I mean? You could have said that in the NFL, and then what happened with the Chiefs? Yeah. Well, after the Patriots, will never be a dynasty again. And like, what is the Chiefs then? Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, so like, don't you think it's like kind of irresponsible to say something like that? I know you want to like be raw about your guys, but it's like, why not just like focus on the season and like say like you really are focusing on adding another ring to your collection, right? I mean.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, again, to say something as broad as that, like there's never going to be a dynasty, like, I don't know, that just doesn't make any sense. Like you said, like you can say that about when Tom Brady with the Patriots, with the Chiefs now, like there is going to be another one actually.
Right.
Like more often than not, there is.
Yeah.
Again, he could have worded it differently in terms of there never be, another dynasty that has like this, like again, like using your players. Exactly. Yeah. Like again, like you can be more specific, not just so general. And like you said, I mean, especially coming from a coach, I mean, you kind of want to be focused on the future, like,
yeah. I don't know. I just thought that was crazy.
It is crazy. It is very crazy.
So I don't know. To me, it seems like they're moving in the wrong direction. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, so I mean that's really where we are. And of course, we'll talk more about the Yankees tomorrow and their upcoming series with the Rays. See what the Mets do this afternoon. And one more time, Tony, they are going where again?
They're actually staying home.
Okay,
believe it or not, against the Nationals.
Oh, well, they're going home because they're in Pittsburgh right now.
Right.
Yeah, Nationals, and so Nationals. And what's the other series before the break? Because there's two series left. I know Yankees have the Rays.
Colorado. They're going to Colorado.
Going to Colorado.
Yeah,
That's interesting. So are you expecting that series, given the field, to feature like a ton of offense or?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, in Colorado.
What's the bullpen going to do?
Yeah, give a lot of runs probably.
Yeah. I can't imagine being a fan of the Rockies, like how you navigate that with like pitchers and giving up runs and knowing that the altitude's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I never understood that. And it's like, I would love to see like them have like one of the best teams in the league and just see how that would work, what the pitchers' numbers would look like, what all the hitters' numbers would look like,
That would be sick.
Like, would Shohei Ohtani hit 70 home runs or Aaron Judge or Juan Soto?
That's why we should be the commissioner of the MLB.
We'll just have everybody play in Colorado.
An entire season.
All over Denver, knock down everything and just put baseball fields up.
LA Barnaby purchases Denver, Colorado.
Now, Do you think you would like that though? Like if that was your team with that altitude, or would you almost find it annoying? Like, of course you'd love the home runs, but then with the pitchers, like every fly ball is just going.
Yeah, I'd find that to be really annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw
I'd rather not.
We saw what a tough time Mike Hampton had coming over from the Mets
Oh.
back in 2001 with that altitude. But I would like to see kind of them back in the playoffs. I mean, obviously it's not going to happen this year, but just to see what that would look like.
They're such a terrible organization.
And they've never won the World Series. They just lost to the Red Sox in 06.
I mean, I'll double check here.
Or 07. Because I think the Cardinals, Red Sox was 04. Vever?
As ever?
As Rockies were set in their only World Series appearance, they are one of only 2 teams never to win the World Series, other being the Seattle Mariners.
Wow.
There you go.
Rockies made it in 07, swept by the
Yeah.
Red Sox in 4 games,
07,
as we know, dude.
Yep.
They also have made 3 other playoff appearances since 07, but have only won 1 game.
Wow. Crazy.
That's crazy.
So yeah, who knows how they turn it around? I mean, we think we're annoyed with our teams. Imagine being a Rockies fan. Denver Airport, Illuminati headquarters underneath. Yeah, I've seen that whole.
That's what
thing.
they say. Yeah, with the horse and the painting.
Yeah.
On the
Just,
ground.
there is a lot of stuff that's weird about that, I have to say. But then what? Yeah, I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just
no,
weird.
that's kind of weird.
But would you be willing to take it head on, Tony?
The
Like
Illuminati?
take no, go fly into Denver,
Oh.
kind of like explore the airport, not like get escorted away from security, but
Right.
really like, take your time in there, kind of like try to do some investigating. In all seriousness, like, would you want to do that? Or would you almost like not want to do it because you'd be like worried about what you would find?
No, I'm all for the investigation. I
Yeah.
feel. Let's
Mike
go, dude.
would love that.
Yeah. It'd be very interesting to see.
Road trip to the airport?
Road trip to the airport. Yes, dude. Let's drive to Denver Airport, dude.
I have always wanted to go to Denver, honestly.
Yo, me too. Are you fucking kidding me?
Would you rather go in the winter or the summer?
Or the winter?
Yeah. I mean, I've heard it's nice in the summer, though, like Aspen and stuff. I know Aspen
Yeah.
technically is not Denver, but close by, I think.
I'm not sure where it is, but it
I
is
don't-
in Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that.
But yeah, for me,
Dude.
I mean, I'm gonna tear my Achilles skiing. So what's the point of doing?
True, I
going in the winter?
guess. And I mean, yeah, true.
Right. I mean,
guess.
could you envision really me really like getting skiing down? I don't think so.
No, I don't think
the
so
balance
either.
is just not gonna be there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but we'll still go there anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
Go check it out.
Avalanche. Come on, dude.
The Avalanche, yeah,
That would be sick.
and the Rockies, of course.
Yeah, I would still.
Nuggets, I guess.
Yeah.
Win in Rome type of
I
situation.
mean, you might as well if you know.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. So that's
Broncos.
Broncos. Yeah. I mean, well, why not? Right? See all the teams.
If you had to choose, there's 2 games to go out of those 4 teams.
Colorado Avalanche, Colorado Rockies.
All right. Yeah, probably the same for me.
Yeah. Not to say the other stuff wouldn't be interesting, but that would kind of be my priority.
I feel like I would. I mean, maybe this is too obvious, but I feel like Broncos though would be like a tight third.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that would be a sick football game.
Oh,
to
it
go
would
to,
be.
dude.
It would be. Yeah, definitely. Maybe kick some field goals there too. See if we get a little extra distance.
That would be sick. Yeah, maybe we go on the field, pregame.
Yeah.
And of course we'll be seeing our boy, in a nice Denver jersey.
Michael Buck. No, wait, who's?
Zach Wilson.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I was confused because he's not my boy. So that's why I was confused.
No,
with
he's
that.
everyone's boy.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, that's really what we have. But once again, I would like to thank everybody for tuning in today, continuing to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jay in costume, the merch at downtimetv.com. We want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games, and we will see you mañana.
Let's go Mets.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.